The US court just denied somebody trying to claim copyright over an AI-generated work that they generated themselves. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a massive, massive win for anyone who is an artist or anyone that generally thinks that AI is garbage. Basically, anyone with any form of common sense. Shoutouts to CNBC.com for this article. The US Supreme Court declines to hear dispute over copyrights for AI-generated material. The US Supreme Court declined on Monday to take up issue of whether art generated by artificial intelligence can be copyrighted under U.S. law, turning away a case involving a computer scientist from Missouri who was denied a copyright for a piece of visual art made by his AI system. Plaintiff Stephen Thaler had appealed to the justices after lower courts upheld the U.S. Copyright Office decision that the AI-crafted visual art at issue in the case was ineligible for copyright protection because it did not have a human creator. This fool decided to grab an AI, steal a whole bunch of other people's artwork, and then get up and say, hey, this is mine, I wish to copyright it, and then the US Supreme Court, showing off a basic amount of common sense, for once, looked at this guy, laughed at him, and then said, bro, are you freaking serious? That's not yours, you didn't make that. No, you cannot copyright it. Thaler of St. Charles, Missouri, applied for a federal copyright registration in 2018 covering a recent entrance to paradise, quote-unquote. The visual art he said his AI technology created. The image shows train tracks entering a portal surrounded by what appears to be green and purple plant imagery. The Copyright Office rejected his application in 2022, finding that creative works must have human authors to be eligible to receive a copyright. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration had urged the Supreme Court not to hear Thaler's appeal. The Copyright Office has separately rejected bids by artists for copyrights on images generated by the AI system Midjourney. Also good. Those artists argued that they were entitled to copyrights for images they created with AI assistance, unlike Thaler, who said his system created a recent entrance to paradise independently. Alright, that's actually very interesting. Whereas Midjourney is just stealing art from random people all over the internet in order to generate their slop, Thaler's appeal attempt was probably going to be him arguing out the fact that, oh hey, his system was created with his own work, maybe, or just created independently. I don't know, there's no specific there's. I personally think that you should not be able to copyright regardless, even if the AI is working off of your own artistic abilities. Because still, it wasn't made with a person, a machine made it. A federal judge in Washington upheld the office's decision in Thaler's case in 2023, writing that human authorship is a bedrock requirement of copyright. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit affirmed the ruling in 2025. Thaler's lawyers told the Supreme Court in a filing that his case was of paramount importance, considering the rapid rise of generative AI. And yeah, I agree, it is important. It's important that the Supreme Court set it in stone that this slop is not actual artwork that deserves to be treated the same way actual human beings work on it. With a refusal by the court to hear the appeal, Thaler's lawyer said, even if it later overturns the Copyright Office's test in another case, it will be too late. The Copyright Office will have irreversibly and negatively impacted AI development and use in the creative industry during critically important years. Yeah, good. Although the Copyright Act does not define the term author, multiple provisions of the Act make clear that the term refers to a human rather than a machine, the administration said. The Supreme Court previously rejected Thaler's request to hear this argument in a separate case involving prototypes for a beverage holder and a light beacon concerning whether AI-generated inventions should be eligible for U.S. patent protection. His patent applications were rejected by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on very similar grounds. Okay, good. That's very good progress. That is very, very good. So even things outside of the creative industry where AI is just making slop are actively being rejected by the US government. I could not be happier to see that. But yeah, that's the end of the article, and I gotta say, this is a whole thing. This is a whole thing, and it's a whole W. This is a massive W for anyone who's in any form of creative medium. Okay, look, the fact that this guy is trying to claim copyright over was something his personal machine made it, regardless of whatever that machine was learning off of, doesn't matter. You should not be able to claim copyright over this at all. It doesn't matter whether you're typing out the prompts that make the goddamn artwork. The machine is doing all the work for you, okay? Period, end of story. Let's read the comments, see what people have to say. No human creator equals no copyright. Seems pretty clear cut. No wonder it was rejected. Trying to put a copyright claim on the output of a plagiarism machine is really fucking stupid. But we will see a lot more cases like this. and I will laugh at every single one. Pretty ironic to even try to protect AI art, considering that most AI models, if not 99% of them, are trained on copyrighted materials without prior approval of the author. And that's what I'm saying, exactly. That's what I'm saying here, bro. Like, what is running through this dude's... Like, this guy... Whoever this Thaler guy is, he is very clearly an AI bro, since he's already come to court previously involving trying to protect AI creations. But yeah, clearly this guy is, he's a real piece of work. He's a specimen, we'll leave it at that. So yeah, to sum it all up, you can't steal other people's work and claim it's yours. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is a huge W for the creative industry and its protection against artificial machines stealing everyone's content? Or do you think that this is a bad thing for some weird reason? Regardless, I do want to hear how this would be a bad thing. So yeah, feel free to comment and tell me why. Oh, and maybe drop a like and a subscribe if you're entertained by me. That's gonna be all for this one. This is Blacklight Jack signing out. You guys have a good one.